just injury. I've wondered that myself. Okay. But as we know right now, the Fever sitting in playoff position. All right. After last night's victory, it should be noted over a old as hell Seattle Storm team. Let me just keep it real. But look, nonetheless, Seattle Storm would technically be in the playoffs right now. The Fever are now sitting alone in the sixth position. All right. They would probably draw, I believe, the Aces.
Discussion continues around Caitlin Clark's potential comeback as the Indiana Fever navigate their playoff positioning. A legendary WNBA figure has weighed in with strong opinions about whether the rookie sensation should risk returning to action this season. Many supporters share similar concerns about the wisdom of rushing back from injury. Questions emerge beyond just physical health concerns. Some wonder whether coaching compatibility and playing style differences factor into the return decision. The relationship between Clark and head coach Stephanie White has drawn scrutiny as fans debate whether their approaches mesh effectively.
I believe the Aces, who have been on a damn tear, the Aces are 10-0 in their last 10 games, folks. Damn. By the way, in case you're wondering, the Fever 4-6. And I still cannot understand why our win-loss record is so bad at home. I don't understand. 11-9. The Lynx are 18-1. New York Liberty 15-5. I just don't.
Current standings show the Fever occupying the sixth playoff position following their recent victory over Seattle Storm. Despite Seattle's aging roster, they remain technically in playoff contention. Indiana's positioning would likely create a first-round matchup against Las Vegas, who have dominated recently with a perfect 10-0 record in their last 10 contests. Home performance continues puzzling observers, as Indiana struggles with a disappointing 4-6 record at their own venue. This stands in stark contrast to other teams like the Lynx at 18-1 and New York Liberty at 15-5. The poor home showing seems particularly strange given the enthusiastic crowds that regularly attend Fever games.
Don't get it. I really don't. With the kind of crowds that show up to those games, it's wild. So we got a lot. Last night during the broadcast, they brought this up. Stephanie White made these comments.
15-7 lead. Caitlin Clark, who did start taking part in portions of shoot-around, non-contact portions of practice. She has yet to take part in a full practice, and Stephanie White.
Recent broadcast coverage revealed Coach Stephanie White's latest comments regarding Clark's recovery progress. White explained that Clark participated in limited portions of recent.
White reiterating today she will need to do numerous of those. Ideally, even 5 of those before she can play, but a couple steps in the right direction the past few days.
I mean, it's great.
All right, so you heard that. She'll need to do ideally at least 5 of those before she can play. Talking about non-contact portions of practice, she is yet to have a full practice. Scott Agnes.
When questioned about available practice time remaining in the season, White acknowledged the challenge of scheduling full team practices. However, she mentioned possibilities for smaller group sessions and specialized matchup scenarios that could provide adequate evaluation opportunities. Commentary during broadcasts highlighted Clark's unique achievements, particularly her signature logo recognition. White praised this rare accomplishment, noting that very few athletes earn such distinctive branding opportunities. These remarks represented some of the more positive statements made about Clark's overall impact. Hall of Fame player Lisa Leslie entered the discussion with definitive opinions about Clark's situation.
Scott Agnes. All right, I guess he's the one that asked this question. I don't know. Probably the one that's got access, I'm sure. Talking about Caitlin Clark coming back, Stephanie White.
Caitlin, able to go through your little walkthrough or whatever you normally do, and what do you want to see ultimately to get comfort whenever the time comes?
Yeah, she went through our walkthrough yesterday. Today it was very short, prior to game time, but she went through it yesterday, and I want to see her.
Leslie strongly advocated for shutting down Clark's season entirely, emphasizing long-term career considerations over short-term competitive goals. Her perspective carries significant weight given her legendary status.
I want to see her practice, live in practice. Want to see her continue to work to not just build endurance, but to be able to handle contact 94 feet as it's going to be in game, and to be able to do that and sustain from an endurance standpoint. And that's going to take multiple practices to make sure that there's no regression. And as most of us know, when we get fatigued, we look different, and see how she plays through fatigue.
Sorry to follow up that. Do you have enough practices left?
Even when athletes believe they've fully recovered, a single cutting motion or sudden directional change can instantly recreate the original problem. This unpredictable nature makes such injuries especially dangerous for basketball players. Leslie questioned whether potential playoff success justifies the substantial risk involved. She specifically mentioned the possibility of facing Minnesota in the first round, wondering if such a matchup warrants jeopardizing Clark's long-term health and career prospects. Analysis of the Fever's performance without Clark reveals concerning statistics. The team stands at 11-13 during her absence, suggesting significant struggles without their star player.
We look different, and see how she plays through fatigue.
Sorry to follow up that. Do you have enough practices left for that opportunity, especially this late in the season? They get changed depending on your schedule, things like that.
Not necessarily probably team practices, but being able to put together, threes, fours, and different things that we can go against and match up.
All right, that's enough of that. So, still talking like there's a chance she'd come back. I don't know if this is going to happen. I know I heard Stephanie White talking.
These numbers indicate that playoff advancement would be extremely difficult without Clark's contributions on the court. Growing injuries present unique challenges for basketball players due to the sport's demands. The constant running, cutting, jumping, and directional changes place enormous stress on the...
If this is going to happen, I know I heard Stephanie White talking up last night's logo situation, right? It's special. There's very few people who get the opportunity to say they have a logo. It was one of the nicer things she said about Caitlin Clark. Now, enter in legend Lisa Leslie, because she is talking about Caitlin Clark shutting it down. Shutting it down. By the way, Fever 11-13 without.
However, Clark's earning power would likely provide access to premium medical treatment regardless of team resources. The timing of any potential return creates additional complexity. A serious re-injury during playoff competition could potentially sideline Clark for the entire following season. This worst-case scenario would represent a devastating outcome that far outweighs any short-term competitive benefits. Team depth concerns add another layer to the decision-making process. Without key players like Sophie and other contributors at full strength, the Fever lack the roster depth that might justify risking their franchise player.
Said Angel has the potential to be an MVP candidate. But that wasn't good enough. But, yeah. She got rage baited by people online. And then she started retweeting like personal shit about Candace Parker as well. Like, she started retweeting like, oh, Candace is just jealous of Angel that she stole her vet and all this. Like, she started retweeting personal stuff about Candace Parker. And now, during the warm-ups, they're all celebrating Candace Parker, and Angel refused. She's the only player on the team that, through the whole warm-up, refused.
A healthier supporting cast might change the risk-benefit calculation significantly. Current roster construction makes championship contention unlikely even with Clark's return. The team's reduced depth means that even getting hot during a playoff run would face significant limitations. This reality further supports conservative approaches to Clark's health management. Coaching compatibility questions continue surrounding White's system and how it fits the current roster, particularly Clark's skills and playing style. Some observers wonder if
through the whole warm-up, refused to. There's no way she's wearing the Candace Parker t-shirt either. Like, we know that. We know that there's absolutely no way that she's wearing the Candace Parker t-shirt. Because as you can see, Angel Eastside wear a warm-up top the whole time. She's the only player on her team not wearing the t-shirt supporting Candace Parker. And I mean, say what you want. This is the pettiest shit I've ever seen. This is the pettiest shit I've ever seen. Like, could you imagine if any other player had done this? They wouldn't be celebrated. They wouldn't, because I kid you not, all Candace Parker said...
These concerns extend beyond mere injury considerations. Strategic questions focus on championship viability with the current roster construction. Even if Clark returns at full health, the team's overall talent level and depth may not support legitimate title contention. This assessment influences whether injury risks seem worthwhile for limited competitive upside. The decision ultimately involves weighing multiple complex factors, including injury severity, recovery timeline, team depth, coaching fit, and championship potential. Each element contributes to an increasingly difficult assessment of whether return makes strategic sense for all parties involved.
They wouldn't, because I kid you not, all Candace Parker said was that she doesn't think Angel Reese right now. She literally said that Angel Reese has the potential to be an MVP. Literally, and apparently all the shade started from her saying, and I'm not joking, saying that she can be, she's not really a first option. And people are like, oh, she's the first option in the sky. Yes, a team who are going to finish second last. A team who are going to finish, she's the first option, a team that's going to finish second last. Yes, they finished second last. She was a second.
Public opinion remains divided between those prioritizing immediate competitive goals and others emphasizing long-term career protection. Both perspectives offer valid reasoning, though medical experts generally favor conservative approaches with unpredictable injury types like groin problems. The situation highlights broader questions about player safety, team medical protocols, and the balance between competitive desire and career longevity. These concerns extend beyond individual cases to systemic issues affecting the entire league's approach to injury management and player welfare. Angel Reese's behavior during Candace Parker's jersey retirement ceremony has generated significant discussion across basketball circles.
It's going to finish second last. Yes, they finished second last. She was a second option last year, and they were third last. I'm sorry, Candace Parker was right about her assessment on Angel Reese. Is that Angel Reese, if she's is a hell of a third option and is not a good first option for your team. And anyone being like, oh, the Chicago Sky, she's their first option. This is her team. Yeah, they stink. They stunk last year. You've actually put decent players around her this year and they still stink. They had Courtney Vandersloot, and I know she got hurt, but at the start of the year,
the situation unfolded exactly as many observers anticipated, with Reese choosing not to participate in honoring the veteran player during the special occasion. The conflict stems from Parker's previous assessment of current players, where she ranked Reese below other prospects like Paige Beckers and others in her tier system. Parker had actually placed Reese in a respectable category, acknowledging her potential to become an MVP candidate, but apparently this evaluation wasn't satisfactory. Social media amplified the tension when Reese began sharing content that personally attacked Parker, including posts suggesting Parker was jealous and other disparaging remarks. This online activity escalated what could have remained a simple disagreement about player rankings into something more personal.
Courtney Vandersloot, and I know she got hurt, but at the start of the year, they had Courtney Vandersloot, but around her, they had Sloot, Beck Allen, Kia Nurse isn't that bad, Rachel Banham's fine, Elizabeth Williams is good, Cardoso can't guard the PNR, so she's a liability, but she's still Cardoso, she's still got an offense. And you put it, this guy should have been decent. It just didn't work. It didn't work out. And a big reason why it didn't work out is, and Ariel Atkins there, let's not forget the
During the warm-up period before the ceremony, every Chicago Sky player except Reese participated in celebrating Parker's achievement. While teammates wore commemorative shirts honoring the retiring star, Reese notably kept her warm-up gear on throughout the entire period, making her protest clearly visible. This demonstration represents an exceptionally petty response to fairly mild criticism. Parker's original comments were hardly inflammatory. Initially, she simply expressed an opinion about current talent levels and potential. The assessment included positive elements, specifically mentioning Reese's MVP possibilities.
It just didn't work. It didn't work out. And a big reason why it didn't work out is, and Ariel Atkins there, let's not forget the actual, first option when they win. Angel Reese, if she's the third best player in your team, you're a good team. If she's your first or second best, if she's your second best player, you're a bad team. If she's your best player, you're a real bad team. If she's your third best player, you're a decent team. If she's your fourth best player, you're a contender. That's the way I rate Angel Reese right now. Does Angel Reese have the potential to be better? Yeah. And I like Angel Reese. I think she's a fucking dog. We all want to talk.
The irony becomes apparent when considering Parker's accuracy regarding team performance. Reese serves as the primary option for Chicago, yet the team consistently finishes near the bottom of league standings. Last season as a secondary option, the Sky still struggled significantly. Even with improved roster additions this year, including players like Courtney Vandersloot before her injury, the team's performance remained disappointing. The roster included talented players like Sloot, Beck Allen, and others who should have created a competitive environment.
She's a fucking dog. Like, we all want to talk about, like, oh, you know, does Angel Reese really care about basketball? Yes. Yes. There's no question about it that she cares about basketball. I think she hired a dumbass to take her to, like, as an individual trainer over the season. As we saw, she was so bad at the start of Unrivaled. And then when she started working with other teams' players and the staff they had in Unrivaled, by the end of Unrivaled, she made an all-Unrivaled team. It was the same at the start of the season. She was garbage to start the season.
However, the chemistry never developed properly, and the team's struggles continued despite having decent pieces around their star player. Current evaluations suggest Reese functions best as a third option on competitive teams. When she's the primary focus, teams tend to underperform significantly. As a secondary player, teams remain mediocre. However, in a supporting role behind better players, she could contribute to winning basketball.
By the end of Unrivaled, she made an all-Unrivaled team. It was the same at the start of the season. She was garbage to start the season. And when she started working with Tyler Marsh and the team at the Sky, she was doing great. So just, you know, do your workouts with the Sky over the summer, over the off season, and then work out with like the likes of Lisa Leslie and stuff and Unrivaled. Like, I think there's a better than not chance that Angel Reese ends up all WNBA in the next 2 years. Why? Because I believe in I believe in her work rate more so than I believe in her natural ability. And give me a less.
Despite these limitations, Reese deserves credit for her work ethic and competitive drive. Her improvement throughout seasons demonstrates genuine commitment to basketball development. Early struggles in leagues like Unrivaled transformed into